Hey guys, John here from Bring the SEO, and today I want to share something with you. This was a conversation I had earlier today with one of the members in the group, and we were discussing various niches. And this particular member was sharing some of her thoughts around niching down in various industries, and I was giving her some guidance and advice. And something came up during that conversation that caught my attention, and it's something that I wanted to share with you today because this was something that happened to me when I made the decision to niche down. It was a huge mistake and it cost me an enormous amount of time, wasted time. Now, what was that mistake? Well, I made the decision to niche down into cosmetic surgery because I performed some preliminary research, and everything looked to be. It looked like a good niche. It looked like it had potential to be a great niche. What really attracted me to the niche was the money. The numbers made sense, for obvious reasons. Cosmetic surgery isn't cheap, and this matters a lot. And if you watch any of my other videos, you'll know why this matters, because I focus, or at least teach or talk about at length, revenue-focused SEO. So the numbers all made sense. So I then made the decision to register a domain. I built out a website. I filled it with content, and I built out a social media property, a Facebook page, and did a few other things. In total, I think I spent about 3 months doing all of this work. And then I spent approximately 5 or 6 months in the niche before I realized that cosmetic surgery, the challenges associated with cosmetic surgery were numerous, and it didn't turn out to be a niche. It didn't turn out to be anything that I thought it might have been. So this left me in this put me in a situation where I made the decision. Okay, well, I'm not going to spend any more time in cosmetic surgery. The biggest challenge was accessibility, getting past gatekeepers, but I'll get into that maybe in a different video. But I then made the decision to, okay, this isn't working out. I need to change niches. I then realized that I'd spent all of this time and effort building out a website, registering a domain, creating content, populating the page, mucking around with web design and building out a Facebook page. And I did all of this stuff, and now I had to do away with it and start over again. It was a huge waste of time. Now, during the today's call with this member, she said something, as I said, along the lines of, oh, we're going to register a niche specific domain, and then we're going to start, performing research and potentially validating the niche. And I stopped her right there and I said, do not make the mistake that I made. Don't make the same mistake that I made, right? When it comes to niching down and figuring out where you intend, this all comes back to positioning, but ultimately figuring out who your market is, what an ideal client looks like, and everything else. It can be really easy to make the mistake of doing it backwards because for whatever reason, and I've seen a few people make the same mistake, you immediately think, okay, we need to have a website, we need to have content, we need to have presence so that if we speak with any potential prospects, they can look and say, okay, well, these guys said they work with, fences, let's say, and we can see fencing SEO, and we can see their website and all of these other things. That might seem like the logical thing to do, but it really isn't. After that experience, I realized that having a pretty website, social media page, and creating content and a YouTube video and a podcast, I've not only made this mistake, but I've seen others make the same mistake too. I spoke with someone probably 6 months ago now, and he said, we've started a podcast, we've got a YouTube channel, we've built out the website, we've got a domain name registered. And I asked the question, how many paying clients do you have? And he said, oh, we don't have any yet. And I was like, man, you've done this backwards. I talk at length about this in the training. You've got to sell first. You've got to sell first, then build. Put simply, you have to validate the niche by securing paying clients, right? I've got a little handout here, and I share this with everyone in the group. This is in the resources section, right? It's a simple handout that I've got. The only 3 things that matter: 1, solid foundations, defining your niche, your offer, and ideal client. 2, booking appointments, that being, of course, generating strategy sessions with targeted prospects. And 3, selling. Hosting sales calls and selling. Don't do this backwards. This is a really easy mistake to make. You think, and again, it feels like the right thing to do, but it really isn't. It can be really easy to think, just like I did. You've got to have all of this stuff ready, but if the niche doesn't work out for whatever reason, and you know this is fairly typical, you'll sometimes have to, sometimes members get it right the first time around. Other times they need to pivot or change their niche, whatever the reason might be. I think the best advice I can give here is that if you have an existing site, just leave it. I cover how to, you might be thinking, oh, well, John, this is all well and good. It's easy to say get in front of prospects. I cover this extensively in the SEO Accelerator program. In fact, I shot a video a couple of days ago. It's the video just before this one, where I outlined my entire sales funnel so that you can book these appointments. You can get in front of ideal prospects and have these conversations. And the whole point of doing that, especially at the beginning when you're trying to validate the niche to see if your service offering is actually feasible, is to run paid ads. Paid ads. Get in front of these people. Ask them, is this of interest to you? How much urgency or interest, or how motivated are you for this service? Once you start having those discussions, you'll know pretty much right away as to whether or not the niche is viable. And I guess the next question I always get asked is, okay, well, if I start doing that, when will I know when the niche is actually viable before I can start doing all of these other things? And my answer to that is you should be looking in and around anywhere between 5 to 6 paying clients. Right, get yourself 5 to 6 paying clients in the niche, build confidence, and be comfortable in knowing, okay, we're pretty sure that this niche that we're interested in is viable because we've secured paying clients. Once you're at that stage and you've got 5 or 6 paying clients, then you can build a pretty website, you can start a podcast, a YouTube channel, you can do all of these other things. But take my advice, don't do it the other way around. Sell first. Focus on these 3 things, right? Setting the foundations, defining your niche, offer an ideal client, generating strategy sessions with targeted prospects, then selling. Focus on sales, hosting sales calls and actually selling. It wasn't terrible, but it certainly wasn't a fun experience putting in all of that work only to realize that the niche didn't work out. So don't do it backwards. Sell first, validate the niche, and then go all in. All right, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.